The economic story of the United States is one of the most dynamic narratives in modern history, a journey marked by ambition, crisis, reinvention, and unmatched resilience. From its earliest days as a young republic, America's economy was shaped by a spirit of exploration and a belief that tomorrow could be better than today. In the late 1700s, the nation was primarily rural, built on farming, trade, and small workshops. Most Americans lived in open landscapes, far from urban centers, working with their hands and surviving on the land. Yet even then, the seeds of something extraordinary were being planted. Immigrants arrived with skills, dreams, and an unshakable determination. Their belief that hard work could transform destiny created the mindset that would define the country for centuries, a frontier mentality that welcomed risk and innovation. As the 19th century unfolded, America entered the industrial age, and its economy transformed at a pace the world had never seen. Factories rose in northern cities, steam engines powered transportation, and railroads crisscrossed the nation like vital arteries. Coal fueled progress, steel built bridges and rail lines, and new technologies reshaped daily life. Industrial giants such as Rockefeller, Carnegie, Vanderbilt, and Ford built vast empires, reshaping the economic landscape forever. Their innovations propelled the United States toward global prominence, but the rapid growth came at a cost. Workers faced long hours, low wages, and unsafe conditions. The gap between the wealthy and the poor widened. Still, despite these challenges, the Industrial Revolution established America as an emerging economic powerhouse, a nation whose productivity and ambition seemed limitless. But every rise faces a test. In 1929, the American economy experienced one of its greatest collapses, the Great Depression. When the stock market crashed, banks failed, businesses closed, and 1 in every 4 Americans lost their jobs. Families struggled to afford food, homes, and basic necessities. The American dream, once bright and full of hope, dimmed sharply. Streets that once buzzed with energy fell silent as millions searched for work. Yet from this darkness emerged one of the most remarkable recoveries in history. President Franklin D. Roosevelt introduced the New Deal, a sweeping set of programs that provided jobs, built infrastructure, regulated banks, and restored public confidence. And then came World War II, which transformed the economy once again. Factories that had been silent during the Depression roared back to life, producing weapons, vehicles, and equipment. Women entered the workforce in record numbers, taking on roles previously denied to them. When the war ended, the United States emerged not only victorious, but economically dominant. The 1950s and 60s marked an era of prosperity, booming industries, growing suburbs, strong manufacturing, and the rise of a confident American middle class. Yet, America's economic evolution did not stop there. The late 20th century ushered in the information age, driven by a new source of power: technology. In places like Silicon Valley, engineers and entrepreneurs created innovations that would transform the world. Microchips, personal computers, and eventually, the Internet. Companies such as IBM, Apple, Microsoft, and later Google changed the meaning of work, communication, and business. Productivity surged, new industries were born, and technology became America's most influential economic engine. This transformation also brought challenges: automation threatened traditional manufacturing jobs, and wealth increasingly concentrated in high-tech regions. But the digital revolution made one thing clear: the United States was entering a new chapter, one defined not by physical labor but by ideas. The 21st century brought both opportunity and turbulence. In 2008, the US faced a financial crisis that shook the global economy. Banks collapsed, housing markets crashed, and millions of Americans lost jobs and homes. For a moment, the stability of the American economy seemed uncertain, but once again, recovery followed crisis. New regulations stabilized the financial system. Entrepreneurs launched startups that reshaped industries. Tech giants expanded with incredible speed. The gig economy emerged, redefining work for millions. Ride-sharing, online shopping, remote freelancing, these innovations changed daily life and economic expectations. Then, in 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic hit, bringing unprecedented disruption. Businesses closed, travel stopped, and unemployment surged. Supply chains broke. Schools and offices shifted overnight to remote platforms. Yet even in this moment of crisis, the United States adapted with extraordinary speed. Vaccine development accelerated at a historic pace. Digital transformation expanded across every sector: education, healthcare, retail, and entertainment. Government support programs helped stabilize families and businesses, and once again, innovation became the tool for survival and recovery. By the time the world reopened, America's economy had changed forever, more digital, more flexible, and more diverse than before. Today, the United States stands at another turning point. The global economy is shifting rapidly, and new battles are being fought not over land or resources, but over knowledge, data, technology, and sustainability. Artificial intelligence is transforming industries. Electric vehicles are reshaping transportation. Green energy is redefining power sources. Biotechnology is pushing medicine into new frontiers. Competition with rising global economies challenges America to innovate faster and think bigger. Jobs of the future are emerging, while traditional industries struggle to keep up. Inequality, political division, and the cost of living create new obstacles. Yet through these challenges, a familiar pattern continues: economic reinvention. What sets the United States apart is not that it avoids crises, it is that it consistently learns from them. Each setback becomes an opportunity for transformation. The nation that began with farms grew into a nation of factories. The nation of factories grew into a nation of technology. The nation of technology is now becoming a nation shaped by artificial intelligence, clean energy, and global interconnection. And at the heart of this transformation is the American people, the immigrants arriving with hope, the entrepreneurs starting from scratch, the workers learning new skills, the scientists pushing boundaries, and the students dreaming of the next breakthrough. If history reveals anything, it is that the American economy is not defined by its wealth but by its capacity to evolve. Reinvention is woven into its identity. Across wars, depressions, technological revolutions, and global crises, the United States has shown an extraordinary ability to adapt, recover, and rise again. And as the world looks toward the future, one truth remains steady: America is still an engine of possibility, driven not by certainty, but by the belief that every challenge is the beginning of a new chapter.